Hi guys, it's Alec here, and today we're going to do a transaction speed test. Alright, so that's the speed at which we capture transactions. And why is that important? Well, ultimately our businesses are about transactions, and the quicker we can capture them, the more we can do of them, and the more customers we can actually help. Kind of like if you look at the speed of a till at any retail store, the quicker they can process the transaction, the less long you wait in line and the more goods they can sell. So it's good for everybody. All right, so let's do this. But what is this speed test about? We're going to do it in customer quotations, and we're going to do it in a versus manner. So we're first going to do it in Sage Pastel, and then we're going to do it in MyCustomers. All right. So first of all, this is not a winner take all kind of environment. MyCustomers is an app that plugs into a Pastel environment. So ultimately, it then creates customer documents that you're able to import into your Pastel. But why do we want to do this? Well, we want to show how you can enhance your speed and enable your teams to capture documents quicker and also in a more structured manner. All right, so let's have a quick look here. When you have a Sage Pastel environment, you ultimately have a database that you capture in the software itself, perhaps at this stage. And if you capture in the software, it creates transactions in the backend into the PSQL database. And you do customer documents through the customer little icon, it's a yellow icon, or through the process function of the customers. And then when you capture it, you can capture multiple types of documents, which would be quotations, sales orders, or invoices, or credit notes, obviously. But in this case, we're going to do quotations today. So what does MyCustomers do? Well, it enables you to do the same thing. You just don't need to do it in Pastel itself. You create it outside of Pastel in MyCustomers. MyCustomers has been developed in Excel. And then when you then create it, it creates a CSV file, which you can then go and import into Pastel on a one-by-one basis, or you can consolidate all of them at once and then create and import all of them. Right, so let's quickly just see specifically, this is speed optimizations that we have worked on hard to try and enable a quicker interaction on a transaction level. So the one we're going to focus on today is templates. So templates means you can actually land multiple items at once. And then I'm going to also kind of like just show you how structured data works and how nice it is to structure it, and then how non-technical it is. So you can actually then enable more of your team to quote without having massive training going on. All right, so let's quickly pop over into what we're going to quote on. So this is the system we're going to quote on. Okay, so this is one of my businesses, and I think it's just nice for a real life example. So we're going to quote on this system called the One Column Full Body Plus. Okay, this is a gym system that ultimately has components. All right, so that works nicely because it's a few items in it. We got one item here, which is a column system, that's just a column, and then you've got two, which is a single column pull up arm, that's a one crunch bar, 2, 3. You'll see there's like silvers there on the side. Then there's a dip stand over here. That's called a plus bar with a stop it bracket, and this is called an accessory holder with 2 resistance bands. All right, so we got a few items here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, so we're going to first do the speed test inside of Pastel. So here we are. Now let's quickly just put on our stopwatch here. We're going to put that on the side, and we are going to start the watch now. There we go. Right, so where we go here first. We're going to do a quote. Let's just do it with any of the first customers. There we go. And let's call this test Pastel. So I've created a demo database, by the way, so I can just go like a mad here. I don't have to worry about messing anything up or writing to the database I want to see later. That's a column. I go to the next. I go single column pull up arm. Next, it's a crunch bar. Okay, there we go. Then we got a dip stand. That one. Okay, I can also just pop down there. Then we got accessory holder. Right, go down. All right, crunch bars are actually 3 of them. And then we got a plus bar. Plus. A new plus bar over there, and then the last one is a stop it bracket, stop it bracket, and then we got some resistance bands over here, which is a resistance band. It's this 5.5 inch and a resistance band, 1 inch. There we go. All right, so that's it, done. Okay, so now we obviously have to print it, etc., etc. But that's it. So let's stop it. So that's 1 minute 29. We haven't yet done the PDF. All right. So let's just stop there. But let's minus 5 seconds from there. Let's make it 120. So then we know 1 minute 20 it took to create these lines. All right. So there's a few things that's not in here. For instance, how long will it take to manufacture because it's locally manufactured, etc., etc. So there's a few, terms and conditions that are not in there that ultimately is quite important, but we're going to leave it there. All right. So now we go over into my customers. All right. So as I say, we've developed this in Excel, so it opens like this. So what we're going to do here, we're going to just reset this and let's go for it again. All right. So firstly, we select our salesperson. Okay, we go. There's a name. Here we go. What do we want to create? A quotation, right? Let's go for the first name again that's available. So here's actually a list by alphabetic order that's available. So there's one of it. That's an interesting one. It's the name is a is a number. Okay. What are we going to capture? Well, we're going to just say test. My customers, right? And here we go. Next one. Okay. So here's a template. We go the plus. Done. All right, so we got 38 seconds versus 1 minute and 20, but I want to show you something. What's important is the fact that we've got more lines actually here. So the multi-sport or that specific product actually has a skipping rope and aerobic mat. So we actually had we only did the 11 items. There are actually 2 extra here. But what I want to show you is actually the structured data. So what in a template environment is also kind of like nice is if you look at the structure, we've created some kind of like readability here. So it's easier to read if I were to take this into a preview because it also creates a PDF document. This is the preview that you can see that's going to go through to the customer without the words draft at the back of this document. So you'll see that it's quite nice because it's giving you this lines and then it says, well, this is this type of Cactic Fitness product. This is part of this range. And there's a line in between. And then obviously there's a lot more standard terms and conditions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. If you were to type this out, it obviously takes quite long. So this would have gone from, 1 minute and 20 to probably, 3-4 minutes if you're a dedicated typer. So that's your kind of your speed enhancements. It's 10 times quicker, let's say 6 times quicker if you were to type all of this out. So that's the benefit and the actual comparison between the two. So what happens from here? Well, if you were to process this, what it does, it creates for you, for the user, a PDF document that saves right here that it can send via any portal, whether that's email or some kind of other platform that you want to communicate the customer with. You can also WhatsApp it through, etc. Or you can actually, and obviously most important, it creates a CSV file. So this is already created in, this is already linked to Dropbox. So I'm just going to say import an F5, and you'll see that in this environment, we've already got a Cactic Fitness over there. Oops, there's not an invoice, it's a quote that we just created. And over here, you'll see, oops, just go to the top. It's by date. That's not the right one. I'm sorry. Let's just go to the right one. That's not the one that's linked to the Dropbox. Here we go. There. Okay, so this is the one we just created. Over there, we say open, process. One has been imported. Now, there's a whole list of quotes here, but let's just go down to the bottom. Okay, nice. Let's try, there we go, and there's that one, and there we go. There's everything that was just done in my customers. You'll see it's actually created this little date stamp, this little quote reference stamp, which is the unique number that was issued over here, QJOH, and they've got this Q43S88. 10, which is the reference that's now in Pastel over there on message line 3, so you can still reference it. Right, so that's a way for us to just show how you can ultimately do something like, you know, create a document very quickly, structuring the data, and obviously getting the ability to enhance your speed of capturing, so that you can really quicken your teams and enable them to do quotes very quickly, because, you know, quotes are super important for our customers to get. Otherwise, you know, we ultimately run out of sales. Right. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Have a great one. Cheers, guys.